Offer to kick off. Stacy Driver and Ray Williams deep. Ray Williams with 112 yards in kickoff returns last week. But it goes to Driver's direction, and he decides not to run it out. 3 yards deep in the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Clemson Tigers, trying to regain the lead here at the beginning of the second half.
Important possession for Clemson, Art, and the reason being they've been in the locker room now. They've had a chance to talk it over. There's Dan Ford. He's talked with his assistants up in the booth. They know now what NC State is doing defensively, and they've made adjustments. Here's where we find out if those adjustments work.
Swing back over the ball at center. He left in the first half under his own power with a slight injury. Good to see him back. Epley pitches back now to Flowers, and Flowers, a good tackle, is caught at the 20-yard line, the line of scrimmage, by Mitch Rushing.
Mitch Rushing has 14 hits coming into this game. That was backside pursuit. The eye play to the tailback is not getting off quick enough. I think you can see the difference between the when Driver's in there and when Flowers in there. Driver gets off a lot quicker than Flowers. Flowers takes too much time getting to the line of scrimmage.
Butler to the near side. Rulak is on the wing on the right, and he's the one in motion. So the 2nd and 10. We go to Mack up the middle. Good quick opener, not enough for the first down. He's a couple of yards shy. Frank Bush from the outside linebacker spot to make the tackle.
This has been the strength of the Clemson offense all year. Kevin Mack, and you'll see why on this play. It's really the first time he's been able to do anything. He's hit there. Ball almost pulled loose, but he's able to drag himself free and pick up yardage. Now, in weeks past, he had been able to break even the 2nd and 3rd tackle. Against NC State, he's not having that kind of success, and he's not able to pick up the first down.
Mack, you see him there. 6 carries, 15 yards. 3rd and 2 at the 28-yard line. Flowers gets the first down to the 34-yard line. And Nat Brown making the tackle.
Look at the tackling, though. Look at the difference in the tackling in some of the teams that Clemson has played in the past. Even though this goes for a first down, watch Flowers. Now watch Nat Brown come up. Look at the form on this tackle. Boy, I'll tell you, the head, the shoulder, he's got his hands around his legs. And Flowers does a good job getting loose for the first down there, but a tremendous hit.
Ray Williams is split to the far side. Flowers with 26 yards on 11 carries in the ball game. Gets it again. Good quickness. A gain of 5 to the 40-yard line. Andy Hendel making the tackle.
The play was designed to go up the middle. Flowers' discretion, the better part of valor. There, Flowers immediately broke it outside where he saw some opening. The middle of that State defense is nasty. You don't want to run in there unless you have to.
Flowers, who's had 3 touchdowns in one game, the most for a freshman in a long time in Clemson history, looking for his first touchdown in this game. 2nd and 4 at the 40. Mack up the middle. A gain of 3. Todd Blackwell making the stop. 240-pound nose guard.
You have to wonder what Dan Ford said. There's 2 things that could happen in there. He could say, okay, we're going to change this, we're going to change this, and we're going to change this. Or Dan Ford could have come in and said, you have to block better, run better, and catch better, and we're going to do the same thing.
Might have said both.
Yeah.
Whatever works right. There's been some interesting adjustments during the first half. We'll see what about the second half comes about. Bullard, the wing back in motion. Flowers met in the backfield at the 40-yard line. A loss of 3 yards on the play. Once again, Mark Franklin. What a game he's having, number 48.
That's a blitz, a full blitz by NC State. A great defensive call in the middle of the field. If that's play action, State could have been in trouble. Instead, there was just too many defensive people up front for Clemson to handle, and they dropped Flowers for a loss.
Hatcher in the punt. He's averaging 40.5 on 3 punts today. Last week averaged 50.3. That's Jones. Takes it at the 17-yard line. Has no running room at all, and coming in to make the stop is Kenny Brown. Penalty flag in the air, though, so we'll have to see what the infraction might be. It's out at midfield. Looks like a personal foul on Clemson, so that'll help the Wolfpack cause.
That's a shame. A tremendous punt, tremendous coverage. And now we'll have a personal foul call, and that's going to be a 15-yarder. And this is that field position thing again. We've talked about it. State would have started on their own 17-yard line. Instead, they're going to come up and be on the 32-yard line. That's a wild forearm, personal foul. Got that thing out there too far, 15 yards.
Saulnier and Steele at the guards. Shavlik at center. Tim Esposito, 5 of 12 through the air, 1 touchdown. At the 32-yard line. He's going to go upstairs again, out of the backfield. Poor hit that time on Jeff Brown. Brown with the number 45 is actually playing a tight end. Rod McSwain making the tackle.
Well, Childers had a shot at him early when he that ball was thrown a little bit behind him in Childers' defense. He had to come back for the ball when Childers overran the play.
Good enough for the first down, of course, at the 43-yard line. Just into the third quarter of action. Esposito, no bones about it this time. And a nice move by Stanley Davis, the receiver, finally out of bounds at the 40. At the 39-yard line, Roy Brown there to make the stop.
Let's take a look at the defense here. This is the bandit position. He recognizes pass. His coverage is obviously flat and then get deep. And he's just a little bit short there as the ball's well thrown by Esposito and completed. Here you see it from the backfield as Esposito gets it over. You know, it's not only throwing it to the receiver, you got to get over the defense too.
Brothers and Jeffries, 2 speedsters into wide receivers now at a 1st and 10 at the 39. It goes up the middle. What a call. McIntosh. James Robinson finally making the tackle.
Sometimes you run to set up the pass, and sometimes you pass to set up the run. Look at the draw look. See the linemen, they're all standing up. Big hole as they just close down on the Clemson defense there. Just Milenchek, the big guy, making a big block, and that was Robinson from behind. Good pursuit making the tackle.
The Wolfpack ahead by 1 point now on the drive at the 21-yard line. On the first down play, a miss by Perry. And McIntosh is finally secured by Robinson. Robinson, his 2nd outstanding game in a row.
Perry can hurt you even when he misses you. You drag an arm across your body, you could lose an arm. Danny Ford was worried about his team this week. He talked about Clemson playing with more emotion, and in truth, they appear to be a little bit flat even today in front of the home crowd. 73,000 people. They're screaming for him, and they just do seem flat.
McIntosh in 10 carries now for 50 yards. Koser comes out of the ball game at center, was in for that play, number 61, a sophomore, with the score. North Carolina State 10, Clemson 9. We'll pause now for a word from your local station. Pick up the action at the 19-yard line, 2nd and 8. The Wolfpack on the move. Esposito, a 6'1", 190-pound junior transfer from Long Beach City College. Long count, and off to the tailback, and that's McIntosh, and McIntosh gets the first down. Finally, they push him out of bounds at the 10-yard line. Tim Childers coming up to get the push.
What they're doing is they're showing pass. Watch Greg Steele, number 56 on the corner right there. See him pull out? Does a nice job on Pickett and gives the guy room. There's plenty of room there to run the ball. Big gain.
Davis had the first shot at him.
That was McIntosh again, and he's considered one of the best backs in the ACC. You can see why. He's starting to turn on here.
Cook is in the slot to the near side. 1st and goal. A lob into the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Stanley Davis. Rod McSwain on the coverage.
So many teams run that play, Art, where you lob the ball into the end zone. That play scares me. I've never liked that play, and that was to the wide side of the field. Esposito laid it up all the way across the field. The coverage was great, and that could have been maybe intercepted.
Devane, Ray Brown, part of that midsection of the defense now on the 2nd and goal. McIntosh again, heads for the corner, touchdown. McIntosh's 5th touchdown of the year. And the Wolfpack coming out of the locker room at halftime, making it look easy.
Tremendous blocking as they go to the wide side of the field here. Let's take a look. Look at the white jersey stringing it out here all the way. And McIntosh just outruns the coverage. Outruns the coverage there. There's Burnett and Brown with 2 terrific blocks. Big point here.
Coffey ready to kick. It's up, and it's good. So with 9 minutes and 28 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, the Wolfpack with a 17-9 lead.
Let's take another look at this. Clemson allows themselves to be strung out to the wide side of the field. Ball is on the right hash. Now, this is a long way to run for McIntosh, and the recognition has got to be there by now. The defense has got to come up and stop him. There's only 9 yards to go. Pickett's a little bit short, and there's a good block at the goal line on McSwain. McIntosh walks in. A long way to run across the field. That's almost 40 yards across the field to score.
9:28, as I said, remaining here in the third quarter. Nice high end over end with the wind at his back. Williams will not take it out. So let's see what the Tiger offense can do now to get back into this ball game. They trail 17-9 on a great effort by the Wolfpack. NC State coming into this ball game 2-4. Losing to Eastern Carolina, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and North Carolina. Beating the Citadel and Wake Forest. Mack and Flowers, the backs. Williams and Boyer, the wide receivers. Epley at quarterback. Epley's gone the distance. Flowers just can't get by that initial hit by the linebacker, Von Johnson.
Seems you call a linebacker's number almost on every play when State plays defense. Their linebackers extremely active. Franklin's had a good game. Johnson, Hendel's played well. Very active and all over the field.
Not only fine athletic ability, but good coaching, too, as well, to fill the right gap at the right time.
It's hard to believe this team lost as badly as they did to North Carolina.
2nd and 10 now at the 20. Epley, the long drop, gets the rush. The screen is blocked. And breaking through. Let's check to see. He had a lot of pressure on, but let's see who got the block. Phillips is being credited with knocking the ball down.
Let's take a look at the defense here. State sees this the entire way. They know right now it's screen. Here comes Phillips, but the defense is backing him up. Phillips also is an ex-linebacker. There are white jerseys all over. I don't know if you can pick it up, if we can take that a little longer, but there are white jerseys covering Mack, too, standing a little bit out of your screen. They had that thing covered like a blanket.
Clemson has run that play 4 times. That time it was intended for the fullback Mack. The other times, mostly to Stacy Driver. 3rd and 10 at the 20. Another passing situation. Only a 4-man rush. Epley drills it. Did he catch it in time? Boyer. They're calling it a reception, but it's shy of the first down. Nate Brown securing him for the defense. Hatcher has punted 4 times, averaging 41 yards. And with 8:27, they're going to have to give up the football again.
Excuse me, Art. You've heard many times about a receiver knowing where he is on the field. Boyer needed to get a first down. He needed to be far enough when he hooked up that when he caught it, he'd have a first down. He wasn't on that play.
Nice hang time. And Jones right away calling for the fair catch at the 35. But good field position for North Carolina State with 8 minutes and 9 seconds remaining third quarter. So the Clemson Tiger defense now will have to toughen up. The fans starting to come alive to encourage their defense. Devane is starting in there at nose guard. We've got James Robinson to one side and Ray Brown to the other. The Wolfpack, Esposito back to pass. He finds his man. At the 50-yard line, it's Phil Brothers, and Watson makes the tackle. Brothers has been a big receiver in this ball game. He caught the touchdown pass.
You want to see why they've been successful, NC State, on offense? Look at Devane. Now, he can move just about anybody in the league, but he's not moving this double team at all. As hard as he tries and jumps, he didn't get but a yard off the line of scrimmage, and that's great blocking there by Shavlik and Steele, and State's doing the job.
Steele moved from the defensive line during the spring, has done a superb job. 1st and 10 from midfield. Hand off to Eisen. And Milton makes the fine tackle. Not after about a 4-yard gain, however. Esposito, incidentally, is 131 yards through the air. He's 8 out of 16. He's had 1 intercepted, 1 touchdown.
One of the things they say about Isom is that he has great balance. He did on that play. He was hit hard by Milton. He was able to keep his feet and gain another yard or 2.
They gave him 4 on the play, so make it 2nd and 6 at the 46-yard line. And off to Joe Green. Green new in the lineup, a 6-foot 200-pounder from Norlena, North Carolina. He's only a sophomore.
State offense, the line is moving Clemson's defensive line off the ball. They moved them back 2 yards all the way across the line on that play. In fact, the running back was looking for somebody to hit him, and it was nothing but open territory.
3rd and a yard for the Wolfpack at the 40. Look at that power formation. And it goes to the fullback, Evans. Looks like it's good enough for the first down. He would have to get just over the 40-yard line. It is a first down.
That was our first look at the wishbone from NC State in short yardage. May have been the only time they needed it with the short yardage in the middle of the field.
Wall's making the tackle, but not after the first down. And it's 1st and 10 at the 39. Miller, the big tailback. Esposito gets the big rush and overthrows his intended receiver. Pickett was covering and rushing on the play, and Brothers, as you see there, the intended receiver.
Well, that's what NC State's defense has been doing to Clemson's offense the entire game. Here Clemson did it to State. They got pressure on the quarterback. Esposito did not have an auspicious start in this game. He was kind of rocky, did not complete a lot of passes because Clemson was getting pressure. Now they got to get pressure on him.
Davis to the far side on a 2nd and 10 at the 39. That's Cook in motion. Handoff goes to Miller. And the swarming defense comes through now for Clemson. You got Roy Brown, number 47, Edgar Pickett, number 42, and Steve Berlin, number 76.
Brown and Berlin made the tackle, but Pickett made the play. Great leverage defense by Pickett on the short side of the field, number 42. He held up the State blocker and made the running back slow down. That's what let the pursuit catch up. That's Clemson defense.
Berlin, Perry, and Brown, the midsection of the defense now, as the Wolfpack with a 3rd and 12 at the 41. Esposito, the straight drop back. It's pressure, and he dumps it off. Penalty flag down as Jeff Brown gets the reception from his tight end spot. Not good enough for the first down at the 36-yard line, but let's check the penalty. It looks like a holding call on the Wolfpack.
State better be careful. This, just like any other stadium, is starting to get excited here. And if they get up, they're getting the players excited. That was great pressure by Clemson all across the board. And it was a holding call because that was the only thing left to do was hold.
There you see Ray Brown, a 3-year Letterman senior, 6'4", 250 pounds, out of East Rome High School in Rome, Georgia. Looked like he said right there, we'll take it.
Well, this is a tough call. Right now it's 3rd and 12 if they don't take it. They're going to replay the down.
Ball placement back at the 46-yard line.
3rd and 15.
There's the penalty set up. 30 yards marched off against State, 50 yards against Clemson. The crowd trying to excite their defensive unit now on a 3rd and 17. From the 46, Esposito drops straight back. Gets good protection this time. Steps up in the pocket. Fires it and almost intercepted by number 28, Rod McSwain. A penalty flag up once again. Right around the line of scrimmage. Looked like it might be a holding call once more.
This is double coverage all the way now. Let's watch. They let him get inside, Davis, and they don't want to do that. But here he is running free. If the ball's thrown there, he's got it. But look at the double coverage by Clemson. McSwain looked like the ball was thrown to him. There was no chance, and that's similar to the one they scored on. They had the same kind of coverage, but they just didn't make the play defensively. They had the double coverage inside and out there, and it worked.
Billy Davis is back to receive a possible punt at the 10-yard line, and it's Marty Nussin. Marty Martinezson back to kick. He's averaged 36.5 in his previous kicks in this ball game. Fair catch called for, and the ball just gets into the end zone. 1st and 10 for the Tigers now at the 20-yard line with 4:48 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Good example on that punt there, Art, of knowing where you are on the field on the coverage team. The guy running under the punt for State, if he had realized where the ball was, he might have been able to keep that in play, but he was just running down the field. He had the distance, but he didn't have the direction.
This is Art Ekman with Kevin Kiley from Memorial Stadium in Clemson. We're in the 3rd quarter with 4:48 remaining. With the score, NC State 17, Clemson 9. The completed pass on the 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line to Boyer at the 30. Close to another first down. It is a first down at the 31.
Play's been there all day, Art. They've given him that underneath hook all day. Clemson's going to have to start taking it and get back in the game. They're down by 8.
Epley 14-23 through the air, 2 interceptions, 155 yards passing for Epley. Mack and Driver. It goes to Driver, and Driver does just that. He's noted for hitting that hole quick, and he puts it out to the 37-yard line. Todd Blackwell, a nose guard, all the way back there to make the stop.
Good blocking up the middle there. Clemson has not had to come from behind. The 2 games they were behind in, I guess the 1 game they were behind in the Boston College, they lost once they got behind. This is a new situation for them, and they're going to have to tighten up their gut.
Boyer to the near side, Williams to the far side on a 2nd and 4 at the 37. Epley hands to Mack. Mack, great running room. Can he get the block? No, he doesn't get the block from Boyer. Nat Brown to make the tackle. But a nice run by Mack, and really the first time he's seen that much daylight as he moves over to the 49-yard line.
Tremendous block at the point of contact here by Farr. As Farr gets out, and so does the center swing. It's a good hole. Mack gets through it, cuts outside. There's an opportunity for him to go here if Boyer picks up a block. But look at this hit. Look at the hit by Brown on Mack. How many times have we seen Mack been taken down like that in the open field? That's good tackling.
Mack with 33 yards on 8 carries in this ball game at the 48-yard line, 1st and 10. Epley, the short drop, gets it to Rulak, and Rulak, after being out of last week's game with a foot injury, takes it to the 41-yard line. Dwayne Green pushing him out of bounds there.
They can go all day underneath if State doesn't come up and play nose to nose, and if they do, they're going to have to chase Rulak or Williams down the field. You know that Clemson's setting up a little hook and go.
Some fine coaching adjustments made by the Clemson Tiger offense now at a 2nd and 3 at the 41-yard line. Williams left, Boyer to the right. The handoff to Stacy. Driver with great quickness down to the 30-yard line. Dwayne Green once again called upon to make the tackle in that secondary.
Dwayne Green is making a lot of tackles. There's no comparison between Driver today and the other Clemson backs. He's so quick. It's one of those days where he's just got the feet moving. He's able to get through that hole so quickly. 8 for 47 yards. It's not going to hurt his average.
1st and 10 from the 30. Epley hands to Mack, and no running room this time, but he bounces off, and he can't get away from the outstretched hands of Reggie Singletary.
Let's get Kevin a smaller shirt there. Something that doesn't fit quite so loosely, because that's what Reggie had. If it wasn't for that shirt, Kevin might be crossing the goal line right now.
Singletary, originally a middle guard, 6'4", 244-pound sophomore from Whiteville, North Carolina. So it's a 2nd and 8 now from the 28-yard line. Clemson trailing 17-9. Good sustained drive underway. Driver bounces off a tackler but can't go. Good pursuit around the ball as Driver takes it close to the line of scrimmage. Hendel and Singletary once again making his presence felt.
Part of linebacking, part of defense actually, but part of linebacking is not only getting to the play, but getting yourself in position in front of the carrier to make a good hit. Hendel did a great job on that play as he got in front of Driver and was able to explode through him and stop him dead. That's why he went down so fast, because of the position the linebacker had.
Epley has Butler wide left and Rulak to the right, the short side of the field. Option play. Epley, good call. Touchdown! When that option play is run correctly, it sure is a pretty picture, Kevin.
Clemson had become so predictable. They had not run the option since the first quarter. And yeah, you know what happens? You forget about it when you're playing defense, and you forget how to play it. And when it shows so quickly like that, all of a sudden you say, well, who do I have? Do I have the pitch man? Do I have the quarterback? The guy who had the quarterback forgot he had him. And Epley went for a touchdown. You'll see it. As we show the replay, watch Epley. When he gets to the corner, there's not going to be anybody there, but there's a man on the pitch man. Fake to the fullback. You come down the line. There was Phillips. And Franklin probably had the quarterback, but the man trailing the play, Brown, was the guy on the pitchback. He had the pitchback covered. Epley did what a good quarterback does. As soon as he sees the opening, tucks it in, and he goes. The result, 6 points plus.
Singletary, once again, had good penetration on that play, but the man that the fake went to, Kevin Mack, was able to pick him off.
Singletary did what he was supposed to do. Franklin was the outside linebacker there. I'm sure he probably had the quarterback, but remember, Franklin was an inside linebacker. And when you switch positions, sometimes you get a little confused. And obviously, the option is meant to cause confusion.
Clemson evidently going for the 2-point extra point try. After a timeout with 1:51 remaining here in the third quarter, they're trailing by 2. They're going to tie this ball game up.
Well, 1 point doesn't do them any good. 1 point still leaves them 1 point down. If they miss this, they still can get a field goal and win the game, so there's no reason not to go for 2 points.
Kevin Mack, the lone remaining running back. That's Stacy Driver on the wing. Rulak is split to the near side. Epley rolls to this side. Lots of crowded area in that end zone, but Epley does the fine job. What an athlete he is, and Kevin Mack gave him a good block. You get in that small area of the end zone, Kevin, and when you have 3 receivers on one side of that field, that doesn't leave much room.
You always roll out. 90% of the time, if you have a quarterback that's at all mobile, they'll roll him out, and that's the reason you touched on it, because it is so crowded. It gives him an option. When he rolls and the 3 receivers are in the end zone, you can do just about anything. Here we pick it up here as Epley, a little pump fake. Mack has already thrown his block. That causes the defender to stop and think for a second, and then Epley has the presence of mind to cut inside, and here's where he makes the play.
Von Johnson tries.
He stopped right there. But look at this, he flies. And he flies just far enough. That's a tough call.
Oh, the ball
a tough call.
Hit that goal line.
Well, this
as his
is
knee
Death
came
Valley.
Down. We'll be back with USA's College Football 83 right after this. Donald Igwebuike set to kick off. Screen and Williams deep. He rolls one this time. Goes to Joe Green. Green comes out to the 26, make it the 27-yard line. Let's take another look at Epley as he goes toward that goal line.
The question is his knee down before he hits it? I believe, from what I remember, the official is towards the middle of the end zone in back of Epley. So it's a tough call for the official. Now let's take a look. Does his knee hit?
Does the ball cross the goal line now?
That's a tough one. I say he's in. I say he's in, so the official.
17-17, 1:44 left in the third quarter. Esposito can't find anybody to throw to. Great coverage, and James Robinson is having himself a ball game.
Do players play the same under every condition? No, they don't. When it's tied and you've just come back, it pumps you up quite a bit, defensively and offensively. Esposito on that play did something that a quarterback should never do. He came back. He's a little excited, too. He's pumping his feet up and down. That's not going to help you throw the ball. He's got to stay calm, keep his feet on the ground, and throw it with some force.
Wells, Robinson, Devane, and Scott, the defensive line. Esposito goes back to McIntosh, and McIntosh to the 21-yard line. James Robinson once again.
Robinson all over the field. He's getting off the ball very well, reading, he's pursuing, he's doing everything he needs to do, and rushing the passer. We haven't seen that much of McIntosh today. He is a quality back, and in a situation like this, you may see a lot of safe plays by NC State. They're deep in their own territory. They don't want to make a critical mistake, and here's where McIntosh's value goes up.
He's carried for 75 yards so far in the ball game. 31 seconds remaining. It's a 3rd and 15 at the 20. McIntosh. And there's the opening you were speaking of. McIntosh trying to outrun Arrington, and he's pulled down at the 46-yard line of Clemson.
You gotta be thinking screen or draw, and this deep in your own territory, it's almost 90% of the time it's going to be a draw play, long yardage, things wide open. Missed tackle by Wells in the backfield. Now it's a track meet. Harrington runs him down. First down, NC State.
McIntosh now with 109 yards in 14 carries. 1st and 10 at the 46 for the Wolfpack. 7 seconds remaining before the quarter break. Nice play call, and it's complete to Chris Cook. Tyrone Davis in to make the stop as the horn sounds. With this ball game tied, 17-17. Second down and 2 from the 38 as we begin the final quarter of action from Death Valley. Will the Clemson streak be broken? It's a tied 17-17 ball game right now. Joe Green is the tailback. The Wolfpack at the 38-yard line of the Tigers. Clemson defense booming off the ball. Interception. A big break now for Clemson. That's Ron McSwain. McSwain still on his feet. Penalty flag down as he goes to the 46-yard line. Let's check the penalty flag. I believe it'll be against Clemson. Ronald Watson, I think, got caught on the block.
A lot of great plays there. A lot of great plays in this play. A lot of good athletes out there doing exactly as they should. Look at the pressure. That's what causes the interception. He throws him. He's been throwing the ball in double coverage all day. McSwain picks it off. Of course, he's where he's supposed to be. This is a nice play. Look at the defensive play by the State man here. He knows he can't get him, so he just piles it up. Causes a little problem for McSwain. That lets the rest of the State players come and make the tackle. That's a nice play. That was Davis, the wide receiver, I believe, number 17, that did that. He was the intended receiver or a receiver out on a pattern, and that's what you do when you have an interception. Try to slow the guy down, let your offense catch up and make the tackle.
It does give the ball back to the Tigers. The 15-yard penalty takes it back to the 25. Epley going long for Rulak, and great concentration. It's Williams, not Rulak. Ray Williams having a terrific year. Look at the dance they're doing in the end zone. I hope they don't hurt anybody.
Danford wanted a motion. He's got it. There it is right there on your screen.
Epley's going down underneath to see if he still has a receiver. Well, Ray Williams, who's a redshirt freshman from Fayetteville, Alabama. There's the two of them. Rulak was also in the ballgame, number 15, and Williams just took off on the streak. Well,
we talked about that. Now, I talked about this play a few minutes ago. They let him have the underneath play all day, and then they came up a little bit. They gave him the pump. Epley pumped on this play. Williams hesitated and then went, and they bit. NC State bit. Epley made the completion for the touchdown.
Pauling with 58 straight, makes it 59, and Clemson takes the 24-17 lead.
Let me show you what I mean. Now watch Mike Epley here. Williams hesitates. Look at the pump. There goes the defense, and now he's wide open at this point. This ball's a little bit underthrown, and State's defense almost gets there. The safety tips it, but look at the reflexes. Green again was there for State, but the reflexes by Williams. He's able to catch the tip ball and go for a touchdown. That play was definitely set up by the earlier State defense.
We'll be back with a kickoff after this important word. Igwebuike, who's had only 30 out of 40 returned of his kickoffs this year, has Green and Williams deep at the goal line. Puts a big foot into it this time, and that's Green. No, Craig Williams. Craig Williams battling his way to the 21-yard line. Epley is 237 yards through the air, Kevin.
Offensively, you take what the defense gives you. They were giving him the short pass. On this play, they go for the big one. The pump there sets it up. Now watch Green, the safety. He hesitates a little, and that might have cost him. He gets both hands on the ball, tips it to Williams. And how good is Ray Williams? I'll tell you got to be good to catch a deflected pass.
75-yard touchdown pass, giving the Tigers a 24-17 lead. The Wolfpack now tries to come back from their 21. 1st and 10. Zito hands off to McIntosh. McIntosh Good running room for the circumstance up the middle.
Young offensive line for State played a whale of a ball game against a really strong defensive front of Clemson. They've been able to run the ball and pass the ball, as evidenced by the score, 24-17 Clemson.
Medical crew helping out Rod McSwain on the sideline as the Wolfpack now with a 2nd down and 3 yards to go for a 1st down. Ball placement at the 28-yard line. McIntosh once again, and a fine hit by Robinson. James Robinson, number 83. Boy, it's going to take a terrific defensive performance from anybody else in the ACC for Robinson not to repeat as Defensive Player of the Week.
Robinson's playing a whale of a ball game for Clemson. The thing about a guy, you can always tell he's playing well when he starts making tackles away from the ball and at the point of contact. It means he's getting off his block almost immediately, and Robinson's done that the entire game.
McIntosh, 118 yards and 16 carries. It's a 3rd and 1 now for the Wolfpack. Big play for the Tiger defense. McIntosh, good penetration, but he scurries. Does he get it to the 1st down marker? James Robinson with terrific pursuit that time forced the play, and Pickett was able to come up.
This is the man we're talking about, number 83, right in the center of your screen. Let's watch him. He gets off quick, gets inside. He's going to get a hand on him, slow him down just a little bit there. But how about McIntosh staying on his feet after that and almost picking up that 1st down? We have a player down.
Number 55, you see at the right corner of the screen, is the one down. Henry Walls, a very important linebacker who had 20 tackles against Boston and has just matured terrifically well as a freshman redshirt this year. They're going to go for it. Chucky Richardson comes in at linebacker on a 4th and 1 at the 30. The wishbone, they like to use that for short yardage. They go to the big man, flag down on the play. And it pops out. Vince Evans, the fullback. Reggie Pleasant finally puts a stop on it, but let's check the penalty flag now. It looks like it's against the Wolfpack. Oh, offsides. Clemson.
It's a great run by Evans. Where have you been, Vince? Looked like a Volkswagen going through there. Take a look at Vince Evans and some power running. Now, the defense is not bad here. Look at them lift up the offensive line. They're exactly where they have to be. They make the hit, or I should say Evans makes the hit. Look at the balance on this guy as he spins outside. That's what you're supposed to do, 1st down and more.
Mike Miller, a tailback, making a nice block to allow him to get that extra yardage as well after he spun off. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. Esposito goes up top once again, dumps it off, and out of bounds is the tight end, Jeff Brown. Now, Brown doesn't look like a typical tight end, too, does he?
I was just thinking the exact same thing as I'm looking at this guy, 6 foot 212. When I looked at the depth chart, here he is, I said, how could this guy be a tight end? You know, nowadays in college football, tight end's a blocker. He's got to be bigger than this. It's because he's lining up at tight end. He's a wide receiver, and they're using him like that on these sideline patterns.
At the 46-yard line, 2nd and 5. Joe Green, the tailback. Esposito, 144 yards through the air. That's the tailback, Joe Green. Good running room. More than a 1st down that time as he gets down to the 32-yard line. Chucky Richardson, the linebacker, making the stop, a 2-year Letterman Jr.
Shavlik, the center, Steele, Saulnier, all these guys up front. Greg Steele with a trap block. They cleaned out the Clemson defense. And Joe Green just ran through the hole. Sometimes the back looks good going through there, but it's the offensive line that does the job. He did a nice job on that play.
So the 2nd linebacker in this series comes off the field. That's Henry Walls, and now Chucky Richardson. Henry Walls comes back into the ball game.
You have to wonder whether State went for that 1st down because Walls, the leading tackler, was hurt and came off. That might have had something to do.
1st and 10 at the 31-yard line. Esposito with a short roll and a nice catch out of bounds at the 27-yard line by Jeffries. Jeffries is quite a story from Greensboro. He's a freshman redshirt. He went to the same high school as Mac Jones, another receiver. They're both on a relay, state championship relay, and both playing outstanding basketball. Took their team to number 2 in the state.
Six catches for 94 yards last week against North Carolina. That was the first game he'd caught a pass.
Has a 4.4 speed. 2nd and 7 at the 28-yard line for the Wolfpack. Esposito. That's Green, penalty flag down. Green dragged down from behind at the 12-yard line. Childers making the tackle from behind.
Clemson's getting beat defensively. They're trying a little different thing. This is Arrington, number 1, the cornerback, on a blitz. They were hoping they were going to run that play action with Esposito, and Arrington might get him from behind and knock the ball loose. That's a good defensive ploy. However, the ball went up the middle, and this is Green running over the rest of the Clemson defense for big yardage.
Robinson, Perry, Brown, the middle of that defensive line now, and a 1st and 10 at the 12 for the Wolfpack. Esposito hands to the swing man. That's Evans, the fullback. This time he can't break loose. A triad of tacklers in to make the stop. Childers, one of them. Henry Walls, another.
A good hit in there on Evans, the same guy that was so tough on that short yardage run. He took his lumps on that play.
Play really didn't develop on that fake, though, did it? As he came to the near side with a fake and then swung it back.
Well, Esposito is not a great faker. I've been watching him. He doesn't carry his fakes through. Some of them are exaggerated. Some he doesn't carry all the way through.
Shavlik over the ball at center. His father, an all-star basketball player at North Carolina State. On the 2nd and 10 at the 12, Esposito gets it to his tight end once again, Jeff Brown, and Brown is dragged down. Gain of about 2 yards on the play.
That's a tight end drag for about 2 yards deep. That's kind of a strange play to run. You want to get it a little deeper. They ran it underneath the coverage, and Clemson was right there. You remember last week when Duke drove all the way down the field at the end of the game, and Clemson looked almost helpless on defense. When they got inside the 20, things changed.
Devane comes in at nose guard for Perry on a 3rd and 8 at the 10-yard line. Esposito. Nice defense. In and out of the hands of the tight end, Jeff Brown. Henry Walls. Good thing he came back.
Henry didn't need his knee for that one. He used his hands. Good defense. 3 more years of Henry Walls. There should be a lot of enjoyment for the fans here at Clemson. He can play.
From Southmont, North Carolina, and we get set up now for a field goal try. Mike Coffer. Phil Brothers, the split end, will be the holder. 10-10 remaining in the ball game. Tigers 24-17. The Wolfpack would like to get some points out of this series, out of this drive. Coffer puts the foot into it, and it is no good. Reggie Pleasant trying to get the rush on the play, but it looked like he hooked it. And with 10 minutes, 6 seconds remaining in the 4th quarter, the Tigers leading the Wolfpack 24-17. We now pick up action later in the 4th quarter. This is Art Ekman, Kevin Kiley from Memorial Stadium in Clemson. We're in the final quarter of action with a score. Clemson 24, North Carolina 17. North Carolina State with the ball. McIntosh, no running room at the 14-yard line. Henry Walls, the hit.
This is Clemson's specialty. 7 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the game. They've got a 7-point lead. The defense is the pride of the unit, has been for years. You better believe they know that, and they know that it's up to them to stop State from tying the score.
2nd and 10 from the 14-yard line of the Wolfpack. 7 minutes now remaining. Haywood Jeffries and Phil Brothers, the wide receivers. Brothers with 1 touchdown catch in the ball game. Esposito looking, and he goes to the short man. Incompleted pass. McIntosh out of the backfield, and Walls was right there with super coverage. Put the blanket coverage on him.
Esposito has thrown into coverage time and time again. He's gotten away with it a few times, but he's been burned too. He seems to throw, has a predetermined receiver, and throw into coverage. But this is his first, about his 6th game out of junior college, and he'll get better.
12 out of 24 through the air for 151 yards. Pleasant into the ball game. McSwain out. 3rd and 10 at the 14. McIntosh gets to the 20-yard line. Henry Walls is there. So a gain of 5 brings on the punt team.
Well, that's what you do defensively in a draw situation. You give them 5 yards. You play deep enough so that you can come up and stop them after a 5-yard gain. Excellent defense by the Tigers. Davis came up, made the tackle. Everybody did what they were supposed to do.
Martinezson in to do the punting. He's averaging 37.5 a kick in 4 tries. And Billy Davis back at his own 45-yard line. He has to drift a little bit back now. Fair catch called for at the 37-yard line. That's where the Tigers will take over 1st and 10. We'll be back with USA's College Football 83 right after this. 6:07 remaining in the ball game. Clemson Tigers 24-17 over the Wolfpack. You see Ray Williams split to the far side. Epley, your quarterback. Mack and Flowers, the running backs. Flowers was met quickly by Von Johnson. That's nothing new for Johnson.
Normally, Clemson would be in complete control here because their specialty is the inside running game, the power running game. But State has taken that away from them the whole afternoon. And now with 5:50 remaining in the game, a 7-point lead, Clemson has to find another way to hold on to the ball.
They've done a good job in holding on to leads once they've gotten the lead. Ray Williams to the far side. Hoyer to the near side. 2nd and 9 at the 39. Epley hands to Flowers. Nice dancing. Good stiff arm. Down to the 42. McRory finally called upon to make the stop along with Nat Brown.
This is classic Danny Ford. He wants to run, but how can he run? Well, show him a pass. Give him a draw play. Remember, aggressive defense. You use it against them. They did it there as they showed the pass. They let the State defense come looking for the pass, and then they just ran by him. Flowers, a nice run. McCrory saved a touchdown.
A hard-earned 55 yards, I might admit, in 17 rushes at the 42. The Tigers now with the first down play. Mack. He hit the hole quick that time and just burst through the tackler. Mitch Rushing finally getting the stop.
State will have to take chances on defense. Now, their game philosophy, it becomes, well, of less use to them now because there's time becomes, of course, the main element here. 4 minutes, 35 seconds to go. They're going to have to do different things, try to force a turnover, and certainly not let Clemson get in the end zone.
4:30 remaining in the ball game. 2nd and 5. Epley calls the signal out. Flowers, he's got the first down, secures the football on the double team tackle. Don Wilson will get credit for that tackle.
Tremendous blocking off the right side. They created a seam there. You're looking at Farr, one of the outstanding offensive guards in the ACC. That was Flowers, number 48. Good power running by Flowers to get that first down.
I was going to say, for 190 pounds and 6 feet tall, and known for his quickness and shifty running, as I say, you said earlier, he was a glide runner. He put his head down on that one.
Yeah, he didn't glide too far on that play. It's a first down, Clemson, and you can attribute that to Flowers running and some good blocking off the right side by the Tigers.
Rulak and Butler bringing the plays in.
It's inevitable that you're going to see Williams and Rulak at some point in the offense. That'll be exciting to see Rulak at one side and Williams at the other, the two great freshman receivers.
Mack the up man. Flowers the tailback as Epley shouts it out at the 32-yard line. 3 minutes, 54 seconds remaining, fourth quarter. Flowers. Nice move for the circumstance to the 29. Amatucci, a senior 250-pound tackle, getting the stop.
Flowers on the carry, stopped by Barry Amatucci.
And the important thing about that running game, it keeps the clock moving.
Second quarter score.
With 3:27 remaining, North Carolina State still has 2 timeouts remaining, but they trail it 24-17.
Second and 7, Tigers at the 29.
Stacy Driver, one of your running backs. He's in motion. And the penalty flag comes from an area that might signify too much time, delay of game.
Delay of game penalty against the Tigers.
Well, Clemson's not in any hurry, that's for sure. With 3 minutes and 8 seconds, they need 1 first down, and then probably with the timeouts, NC State has 2 more first downs to end the game with the ball and never even give it to the Wolfpack. That's what they're trying to do. You don't want to get a penalty, but it's no big deal.
Pretty even rushing wise. Clemson 177, the Wolfpack 175. Stacy Driver in motion. Goes to Mack right up the middle. Next week, North Carolina State will be in Columbia to meet South Carolina. And we'll be with Clemson hosting Wake Forest right here at Death Valley.
Third quarter score, Florida 17.
There you see it with 2:46 and the clock ticking down. 24-17. Tigers leading. Williams goes to the far side. Boyer to the near side. 3rd and 9 at the 31, and we've got a timeout by North Carolina State.
State using one of those timeouts. 3rd down, 9 to go. You got to figure that well, if Clemson doesn't get this first down, there'll be some time. You got Igwe Buike standing on the sideline, though. There's going to be a field goal attempt, I'm sure. 17-game streak without a loss on the line for Clemson here.
Why would Tom Reed wait that long to call a timeout?
Frankly, I don't know. Maybe he was discussing it with some of his people. There is a thought that at this point, with 2.5 minutes, I've heard this many times from coaches, with 2.5 minutes to go, it doesn't really matter, because it's going to come down to the last 30 seconds, and you can pretty much control the time element inside 2 minutes if you have the ball. I think the main thing is that they get the ball. Reed's got to be happy. He got clobbered last week against North Carolina. It was 41-14 or 42-14, score like that, and to come into Death Valley and play as well as State has, win or lose, he'd obviously rather win, but I'm sure he's got to be happy with his troops.
Obviously a well-prepared team as well. Stacy Driver and Mack, the running backs, on a 3rd and 9 from the 31. That's Driver. Breaks to the outside just in time, and what speed! Out of bounds. We'll have to wait and see where the official will put it. Looks like the 15-yard line as Nelson Jones finally caught up with him. Frank Bush with the pressure on the outside here, Kevin.
So quick. Driver's so quick. He can do this to you. That's good defense. They stuffed the play at the tackle where it was supposed to go, but Driver with the quick read takes it around, and that breaks the back of a defense when a back can do that.
Driver's had a terrific game. 10 carries, 63 yards. Flowers with 19 carries, 63 yards. And Mack with 13 carries and 45 yards. Braxton William, the up man, on the I formation with Driver on the ball carrier. He's the tailback and takes the ball. Nice gain on the play as the offensive line just exploded off the ball. Vaughn Johnson, the tackler.
Sky, there's so many backs that play well for Clemson, and you have to feel like a face in the crowd. For a guy to come to the forefront after 6 games like Driver has to make him feel good. I mean, Flagler opened up the season like an All-American. Flowers took over, didn't miss a beat. Kevin Mack missed a game, comes back, leads the nation's fullbacks coming in this game in average yards per carry. And who's the one that carries the load? Little Stacy Driver.
Stacy Driver in 13 carries against Virginia had 98 yards. An injury over on the sideline. See if we can pick it up, see which player is down right now. Might have been the gentleman that tried to push Stacy out of bounds. Nelson Jones. That's it. That's Jones. Looks like he's all right, though, as he gets up. Saw Danny Ford joking with the officials there for a while.
You can afford to joke when you're up 7 points and you're knocking on the door with 1:52 to go.
And the clock starts once again. We've got 1:48 remaining here in the 4th quarter. The Tigers by 7, looking for their 5th win of the season. Boyer to the far side. It's Ray Williams, who's had a terrific game, to the near side. Driver once again, and he's caught behind the line or near the line of scrimmage by Andy Hendel.
I was a little bit surprised to see a pitch back there. It looked like Driver fumbled that ball just a tad. He was juggling it as he was headed for the line of scrimmage, and that's kind of a risky shot to take.
1:17 and the clock in motion. (24-17). As we return with a 3rd and 7 from the 12. It's Driver up the middle, makes his way to the 10-yard line, actually getting good position for the field goal. Vaughn Johnson making the tackle on Stacy Driver, who did just what was asked of him. Put it right in the center of the field.
Very impressive drive by the Tigers. They knew what they had to do, and they've just about done it. They get this field goal, they can close out state with 52 seconds to go. Credit to the offensive line. Good running by Driver, good blocking by Clemson.
Very pleasant football weather this afternoon at Death Valley. We haven't seen any rain. They said there might be some rain, a sprinkle of rain, but I haven't seen any this afternoon. It's just brisk enough to be good football weather.
The defensive day. That's what we used to call them. When there's no sun, no happiness, you come out there with a frown on your face and do the job. State and Clemson have played well defensively, and the offenses have played just well enough.
Pauling to try the field goal. Accuracy probably is his middle name. In his career, he's hit 94 of 95 extra point tries, and Pauling just doing a super job with Peretti holding Williams the snapper. Penalty flag in the air, so we'll check the call. Illegal procedure against Clemson.
I don't believe there was a call on the kick, whether it was good or not.
Let's split the uprights.
Well, right, I guess it was good. It would have to have been good because they're taking the penalty. They wouldn't take the play if it was good.
So Pauling now, the ball placement will be back at the 22-yard line for the 32-yarder. Hard snap from Williams. Peretti gets a nice hold on it, and it is good. So some cushion for the Clemson Tigers with 47 seconds left on the clock, and a very important cushion.
Well, they need 2 scores. NC State, they have no timeouts, 47 seconds to go. It doesn't look good.
No time to let down, though, with Esposito in there and that rifle arm.
Well, anything can happen. He threw into double coverage once and got a touchdown out of it. If he can do it 2 more times, they'll win.
Well, what a drive by Clemson, as you mentioned. They took 52 seconds, 11 plays for 52 yards.
That's a big drive. I mean, that's a powerhouse drive. Great football teams make those drives. A little unhappy on the NC State sideline, and they have reason to be. You don't like to lose. You certainly don't like to lose 5 games out of 7. But there's a lot of good things to say about this team, and they're building. Tom Reed's first year, and they're building. They've got a lot to build on. Some good people.
So many of the fans trying to get a head start to the Winnebagos.
A lot of orange in motion here.
Igwebuike set to kick off once again. He's had only 1 unreturnable kickoff today, I believe, and that was a squib kick, a low liner.
Yeah, that was kind of a surprise from Donald. Usually they're 30, 40 yards in the air. Let's see what he does.
Well, actually, I wonder if a place kicker can get bored by kicking.
Well, one of the things that could hurt Clemson here would be a return for a kickoff, for a touchdown. That would cripple him.
Well, he put it to it very seriously that time, and there was no chance for a return unless you're about 15 feet tall. 47 seconds remain. Let's see what the Wolfpack can do. They trail up by 10 points, 27-17. Been an interesting ball game. What a terrific strategy.
Well, Clemson did something today that they haven't done all year. They came back. They were behind in this game. They were behind by 8 points, and they came back, and they lead by 10 now, and that's a new thing for them.
They came back through the air and with some interesting running plays as well. Jeffries and brothers, the wide receivers, as Esposito just fires it up into the air. The leap and the tip. Can't get to it. Jeffries gave it a tip. Davis tried to catch it as it was coming down.
Looked like volleyball. That's one of those things you hate to see happen. It's a terrible pass. Terrible pass. He throws it up in the air, and there's just nothing. They got some pressure, but he should have stepped in. He was leaning back when he threw the ball. Jeffries, I don't know that he intended to tip it up in the air, but he did the right thing because Brothers almost came up with it.
And Davis, both of them right there. Well, still with some 40 seconds left, anything can happen, and I wouldn't see going for the Hail Mary quite yet.
He needs 2 of them.
from the 20-yard line again. Steps up, rifles a lofter into Tiger territory. Interception by Tyrone Davis.
That's why they call it prevent.
Tyrone Davis just waited for that ball to float down and then made sure he put the clamp on it.
Well, this is a stat builder. Esposito's thrown to an area, not even to a receiver, and he gets a good roll on this one, throws it hard. But look at the Clemson people back there, 4, 5, 6 players back there, and of course Davis comes up with it, and now that'll look good on the stat sheet, although it was kind of an easy interception.
.30 seconds, and the Tigers are going to pocket this game away for their 5th victory of the season against 1 loss and 1 tie.
Tiger had it in the bag right there.
Tigers first to 10, ball on the 38.
And let the clock roll away. 20 and ticking. So the players just shaking hands.
It was a big game for, excuse me, it was a big game for Clemson because again they came back, but they did a lot of different things offensively. They took away the inside game, the inside running game, State did, but Clemson went to other things and still won this game, and that's an important thing for them.
And an encouraging factor for the Wolfpack the way they played today as they have to take on South Carolina next week at Columbia. Clemson hosting Wake Forest right here at Death Valley. So the siren has sounded, and that's the end of the ball game with the score. Clemson 27, North Carolina State 17. (27-17), Clemson over North Carolina State as the fans leave Death Valley now. Many of them Clemson fans very happy. They've seen their ball club do some different things in this ball game, some very encouraging things, Kevin.
Definitely saw a different Clemson team today. For the first time, we mentioned during the broadcast, they had to come back, and they did it. They ate up the clock towards the end of the game using their power football, but that was taken away from them early in the game. They went to different things, short passes, some wide running, and some long passing. A good day by Epley. Clemson wants to be recognized nationally. They took a step today, and of course, down the road is North Carolina and Maryland. Both of those teams have been in and out of the rankings all year. North Carolina ranked very highly going into today. So Clemson has taken great strides today. For NC State, another loss. They go 2-5, but a building program. Tom Reed had them prepared coming in, and I think they take something away from Death Valley. They take the knowledge that they can play against an excellent football team and not only be competitive, but maybe win, and that'll help them down the road.
Art Ekman and Kevin Kiley saying thank you for being with us. 27-17, Clemson over North Carolina State. A reminder that in 2 weeks, USA's College Football 83 presents another doubleheader of the best collegiate football in the country. We'll see a battle of SEC powers when Alabama invades LSU down in Cajun country. And renewing a classic rivalry, the Stanford Cardinals clash with the Trojans of USC at the Coliseum in Los Angeles. That's in 2 weeks on USA's College Football 83. Executive producer of USA Network is Jim Zrake. Programming supervisor Marty Brooks. Today's game has been produced by Don McGuire, directed by Toby Jenkins. The production coordinator for USA Network is Barbara Travers. Associate producers Tim Rapley and Kevin Landy. This has been a sports presentation of the USA Network.